when Toby Wifey said, you're too important not to have a wife, what does that mean to you?
So the men around me see me in a way that I don't.
Come on.
And I allow them to see me that way. You know, even, you know, my brother, him 500, you know, they see me in a way, I allow them to see my flaws so that I can correct them. Because I don't see myself, I see myself as trap. I always see myself as a real nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You feel me? But they see me as the businessman, the father, and they like, bruh, as a millionaire, you're too important to us, the culture, and the community to not be married.
Shout out to these kings. Shout out to Eric Thomas. Shout out to CJ. Shout out to Toby Wifey. Shout out to you having a community of men that challenge you for greatness and understand the value of what a wife brings to you.
Yeah, and all of them are married and happy.
Every second that escapes without you here with me keeps my heart anticipating till I finally see you.
When I made my vows, I told God that I was going to take care of this gift.
All my life I've been waiting for you. Girl, you know I've been praying for you. Been writing these love letters to you.
So I fight for that future in the present. You know what I'm saying?
That was good.
Congratulations to the ones who found love, for the hope and new beginnings from heaven above. I await my future wifey. I pray that it won't be too long, too long. Every second.
Welcome to the Dear Future Wifey podcast. I'm your host, Latera Sar Whitfield. Listen, are you still shacking up with us? If you're still shacking up with us, can we get a commitment? Hit that subscription button and subscribe. Make sure you turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified about upcoming episodes. This is season 8. Man, I'm telling you, it's so hard to get a lot of men on the podcast because they're afraid to be vulnerable and transparent. And so it brings my heart joy when I get a brother brave enough to sit on the yellow couch and share their story about love and everything that they've been through. And so I've been watching this brother. We talked about a year ago about having him come on the podcast. And so he's conveniently in Dallas, Texas this weekend. So I said, listen, I saw this post that he made, which we'll jump into in a little bit. And I said, I gotta have you on here. I think this is the time, this is the season. So make sure that you hit that, not only that subscription button, but sign up for the mailing list. The link is in the description. This is gonna be an amazing episode. This episode you're gonna wanna watch all the way to the end. So without further ado, welcome to the Dear Future Wifey podcast. My homie, Wall Street Trapper.
What's good, brother?
In the building.
What's good, brother?
You gotta be the only person I've ever announced by a moniker, by a nickname, by a hood nickname.
Come on.
Yeah, Wall Street Trapper. How did you come to that name? What made you call yourself Wall Street Trapper?
When I first started the brand in about 2018, it just came to me. I'm from the streets. I'm from New Orleans. Went to prison when I was 16. Saw my moms get shot when I was 9.
Did she get shot or she died?
No, she got shot. She got shot 6 times. And then she survived that. I watched that. I saw that happen. And then by 13, my mama had went to prison and my grandmother passed away. So I wound up just being homeless for a while. Went to Delaware by my uncle and them. And I just couldn't adapt to that, right? Because I had been in the streets and he was trying to domesticate me and I was just being rebellious. Went back to New Orleans and then maybe about a year and a half later, maybe a year later, I wound up shooting a man 6 times, just being in the streets. And so came home from prison. That's why I learned about the stock market.
In prison?
In prison. Came home from prison and I thought I was kind of like brilliant, whereas I could use the stock market and the streets, because when you go to jail, you don't, like people don't realize, it's like when you go to prison doesn't like rehabilitate you, right? You have time to sit back to think that you can be a more clever criminal.
I was just about to say that. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so just was in the streets and got into it real heavy. And then one time when my door got kicked in, they froze everything I had. They took my truck, they froze my bank accounts, but they didn't freeze my stock accounts. And so in that moment, I was like, oh, this is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was just telling my homies in the hood, I used to be like, bruh, like we got to put our money in the stock market. You know, and it wasn't, I'm not going to lie, it wasn't because I thought like, yo, this the game changer. It's going. I was like, yo, we can put our money in here. We gonna be good.
Yeah.
And so,
did you have a lot of knowledge trading during that time when you was doing that?
No, I was still, it's kind of like swimming. You can read all the books you want about swimming until you jump in the water.
Yeah.
That's what you learn from. So I was putting my money in there, just doing what people say in the beginning, like investing what you know. And then that's not truly the best way to invest. But we'll get into that. 2014, I get found out guilty on that charge. And I was like, yo, we got to just do something different, bro. Like, I don't want to go back to prison. I don't want to get shot again. I done got found out guilty. Like, it's different. There's something different. There's a different game. So I locked in all the way on this in 2014.
You was how old during that time?
Maybe 30, 31-ish. I ain't that good with my age like that shit. You know what I'm saying? So
you was 31 and then you said,
31, 32. Yeah, like I'm about to lock all the way in on this. Then I just locked in on it. Started working and was using 70% of my money from working to put in the market, living off 30% of it, sleeping on an air mattress. I wasn't tripping. I was like,
you put 70% in there?
Yeah. I just believed in the game.
You did?
I believed in the game.
Which is interesting because the stock market ain't the game that you can control in the street. You can control, a lot in the street.
You
like
don't.
how you moving weight, though.
You don't.
Why not?
You have no control over the street.
Talk about it.
So the only thing, every day you get up in the street, you know two things can happen. You can get killed and you can go to prison. Those are the harsh realities.
Yep.
And you deal with that. You live with that. And those are the things you can't control because you don't know where that's coming from. Every sale, the next sale you make could be your last sale.
Yeah.
Right? The next step you take out the front door can be the door, the last step somebody pulling up on you. I remember I was 15 years old, and I almost got kidnapped. I was halfway in the trunk. I fought my way out of it. I was scared. When you're scared, man, when you're scared for your life and you know it's over, you all in. You know what I'm saying? And I was halfway in the trunk, two grown men. You know what I'm saying?
And you was 14?
I was 15 when that happened. You know what I'm saying? And so,
why did they want you?
Well, I had got into it with some guys. And again, you never know the limit that someone else is willing to go.
Yep.
And so that's why I say, like, you can't control that. You don't control the streets. It's like saying a fish controls the ocean.
Well,
No.
I'm saying like your money. I'm talking about how you make money versus putting in the stock market where it's companies doing what they do. And so you don't feel like they're,
That's why I love the game so much. The only thing you can control is your emotions and your reaction to whatever the game does. Nobody controls the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All you can control is your emotion and your reactions. How are you prepared? What are you doing to be on point? What are you doing to do certain things? But you can't control a game. That's why I love the stock market so much. It reminds me so much of the streets.
I don't know what's going on, but doesn't it feel like this year is going by extremely fast? Okay, is it just me, or does it feel like between social media or life in general, there's a ton of distractions? Have you ever thought about what you would need to do in order to become who you want to be? One word: clarity. I'm Laterras R. Whitfield, and I partner with my friends again at I Can't Wait to Travel for a clarity retreat so that we can get clear. I want you to escape with me to Cancun, Mexico at the Unico 2087 Riviera Maya on September the 26th to the 29th. My homie David Burris, Christian life and relationship coach, and I will be facilitating workshops to help you begin to focus only on those things of importance so that you can thrive in all areas of your life. What are you waiting for? Go to ican'twaittotravel.com, click on the tab that says Group Trips, and join me on the Clarity Retreat. It's time to get clear.
And so anyway, 2018, A friend of mine, her name is Akila. She had made $1 million with this Edge Entity hair care thing she had. And so I was like, yo, that's crazy. Then I had been on her. And so she had an issue with her financial advisor. And she was like, man, I'm about to put this money in the stock market. I'm losing my money. I was like, let me see what he got. Let me see what he doing. And I was like, man, tell him this, move that.
Really?
Throw that away. That's no good. He making money off it right there. Man, he trying to play you right there. Move this, get this stock. Ask him why he got you in that. And so she went to him and she was like, he asked me, who told her that? I was like, anytime a financial advisor asks you that, you know there's a problem. There's a problem.
Who told you that?
Who told you that? Where you heard that from? That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? She was like, bro, you need to start an Instagram. And I was like, an Instagram? And say what? And say what? She was like, you need to talk to people about investing. I was like, man, about no damn investing.
Wait, was you confident back then in it?
I was confident in telling my homies in the street and people I knew about it.
Okay.
I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't think that black people wanted to hear about that.
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest
And rightfully
with you.
so.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell my homies in the street because I was like, bro, if you go to jail or if you get killed, you could leave your kids something, bro.
Yep.
You need some buying money. You go to jail, you got your money in the market, bro.
Yeah.
And you come home, they ain't gonna mess with it. You still got money, bro.
Yeah.
Now you ain't gotta go ask somebody to give you nothing. That was the perspective I was coming from.
Yeah.
I'll be lying if I say I knew it was gonna turn into this.
Yeah.
I did not know that. And so a little bit later, I was talking to one of my homies, his name Greedy. And Greedy was like, say, bro, you really a nerd in a street dude body, bro. I said, what, dog? What? I felt like he questioned everything I had. Bro, you
Everything
know,
that did
bro,
your
you
whole
know,
life.
Bro, you know what I'm about,
Yeah.
dog. He was like, nah, bro. He was like, bro, if life hadn't put you through what it put you
Yes.
through, I could see you being, bro, you talk about this all day, every day. Like you in the barbershop, you in the hood.
You been there talking about stock market?
Man, bro, we need to put our money in. Niggas looking at me like, what, bro? Man, you don't get your fake Warren Buffett. Niggas trying to beat a case right now. You talking about some stocks, man. Get out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? But I had a little, I ain't gonna say I was no big dog, but I had a little respect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My name held a little weight. You know what I'm saying? So so my dog, he's my dog right now. And he was like, nah, bro, like for real, like you can really convince people to play that game because you love it too much.
Yeah.
But I loved it from a different perspective. Like it was just like, bro, you know the streets. We don't know nobody that survived this game. And the people who do survive the game, they ain't surviving. They beat up. They broken down. They limping. They telling us what they used to be.
Yep.
Right? So we don't really know people that survived the game. Right? And so for me, this was our way out.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, it just came to me. I was like, how do I marry the two?
Yeah.
And that's where the Wall Street Trapper came from. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't nothing I thought about. I just woke up one day and it was like, Wall Street Trapper. That's it.
And you start out on Instagram.
I started it on Instagram, 2017-ish. Started it on Instagram, started talking about the market.
When did you see it just take off? Like what year it happened where you was like, oh shoot, I done grew to this, or my YouTube is popping, or what happened where you start feeling like this is getting attraction to people outside of just the street? I'm speaking to everybody at this point.
I think when I did the Ellen show, when I got the call from Ellen, shout out to my guy Twitch. Rest in peace to Twitch, man. Me and him had got so cool. So one day he DM'd me. He was like, bro, what you're talking about is so cool. He was like, bro, I'm out here in Hollywood. I'm out here in LA, bro. And, you know, we make money, but we don't know what to do with it, bro. Nope. He was like, bro, would you help me? And I was like, hell, what, boy?
It's a Twitch show.
You tripping. You dig?
Yeah.
So, because you know him. Because Ellen is technically from she's not from New Orleans, but she's from a little spot called Metairie, which is right outside of New Orleans.
Right outside.
It's right outside New Orleans. So that's where she's from. Yeah. And so you know Ellen if you from there, you know what I'm saying? And so I know who he was. So I was like, what? So I gave him the course for free.
Good.
And then when I gave him the course for free, and I said, bro, if you got any problems, call me. Let me know. Right? And then he was like, and this is crazy. Man, this is so crazy. Literally, not long before he passed away, I did the Ellen show. Maybe like 8 months to a year, not long, right? Because they was closing the show. They was ending it.
Yep.
And so he said, we gonna be looking for an email. I'm like, all right, bro. Got the email.
What you think about that? To get an email to come on the Ellen show,
Bruh,
that
I
ain't
thought it
nothing
was
small. That's huge.
So here's the thing. I had ignored 2 DMs from them. Promise. Somebody DM me with like 300 followers. Man, I don't, what? Nothing in anything don't say Ellen.
That's how it be too.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like 300 followers, some like Christy or something. Like who? I'm from the Ellen show, man. Get out my, stop playing with me, man. Stop playing with me, man. I don't know how to do this with you. You tripping. So if Twitch wouldn't have, hey, check your email.
Yeah.
So I checked
ignore
the
that one
email.
too?
I would have ignored it.
Yeah.
Checked the email and they hit me up. I got on a phone call with them. They was like, all right. Left it at that. They hit me like 4 months later. Same thing, phone call. All right. Hit me like 3 months later. This was like it took like 8 months. They was like, yeah, we want you to come out. I was like, oh, this is crazy. So when I did the Ellen show, not gonna lie, that's when I was like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And then I did Breakfast Club. So that's when I kind of understood it was turning into something. That's when I kind of knew it, and I knew that I think my biggest battle has always been like I wanted to just stay authentic to me.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, I ain't want to
Who was that? I saw a post with a very unlikely person. It was you and this old white guy. Who is that guy?
Peter.
Who is Peter?
So Peter his name is the Einstein of Wall Street.
Oh, okay.
So Peter been on Wall Street maybe 40 years. He DM'd me. I didn't think it was the real him. And he was like, bro, what you are doing is phenomenal. He was like, bro, I'm going to be real with you. He told me this verbatim. He said, you are smarter than most people on Wall Street.
And why was he saying that?
Because what happens is on Wall Street, most people, they abide by systems.
Yeah.
And you take one system and it's the same system that has been passed down, right? And you get on a computer and the algorithms and everything do it all for you. And then the traders and the hedge fund people, a lot of them just know how to sell people products, right? So that's how your 401k, that's how your pension,
Yeah.
it's a product that the hedge fund puts together and then gives to the person to sell to you.
Yeah.
Right? And so he was like, nah, like you're smarter than most people on Wall Street. And you can talk to an audience that they refuse to talk to.
Of course.
And I was like, all right. And so he was the first person to get me on Wall Street. He got me out there. He flew me out there. Well, he didn't fly me out there. When I flew, he asked me to fly out there. And he was like, I'm going to get you in the exchange. And bro, that dream come true.
From the hood, from the NO.
From the NO, from the
from the gutter.
The gutter. It don't get no grimier than that place.
And you sitting up and how did you feel? Did you feel like you belonged there? Or did you feel like did you get this feeling come over you like, I bet they looking at me like, who is this?
Nah, so I know Peter has so much pull. His name A1. And so I really was overwhelmed with emotion.
Yeah.
Because I had in my mind, I was like, damn, bro, like I'm really from the trap. And I'm really in the biggest financial market in the world. This is how the money is. I'm here in the middle of the floor watching the opening bell. And bro, it was just
How hard is it to get there?
now you can't get in there.
You can't?
Nah, somebody gotta invite you in there. Yeah, somebody gotta invite you in there, man. You ain't just going in there. You can't just walk up and say, hey, let me in there.
Are they having a tour today?
They got a tour today? No. Like somebody, so I don't been there not 3 times because of Peter. Anytime I go in New York, he be like, come on, let's go in. I done had lunch with people, hedge fund people, with Peter. One of my closest friends now, man. One of my closest friends.
Think about that, man.
Yeah.
Think about that.
So I was in church today, man.
Because I was about to ask you, do you credit God for that?
Everything. I am not smart enough, and I am not as communicative enough to put myself in those situations. I don't got enough words. I got too much trauma stacked on me to be talking to people to get me in them type of rooms like that. You know what I'm saying? I got stuff out of me. I get in the room, I go to feeling offensive about everything. You know what I'm saying?
You know, they try to help you out.
What you looking at? You know, why you looking at me like that? You know, you don't know me, dog. What?
Like, man,
The whole billionaire. What?
You trying to square up with the dude?
feel
He's
me? Like, what's up? You won't get one in? So I credit God because
Oh God.
he helps me navigate through those spaces and still feel confident.
You said something so key that I want my son to hear it, is the fact that you have so much trauma in you that will prevent opportunities like that from happening. What made you so self-aware to say that?
I'm a work in progress. I'm still working. You got to realize one of the things that, and I'll say this, it took a woman that I was dating, we talked about it, to show me how many loopholes and gaps I had in myself. Right? And it took for me to have a daughter, right? Because my daughter, first of all, made me become emotionally aware.
Happy Father's Day, by the way.
Thank you, brother.
King.
Same to you, King. So I realized that, and that was a blessing in itself, because if I would have had a son, I wouldn't have worked on trying to be emotionally aware, right? Because when you come from the street, emotions is what gets you killed, and it would get you locked up. Or it puts you in a bad predicament. And so you learn not to be so emotional. You learn to be emotionally calloused, in a sense. So that's what I was. So you gotta realize, so for me it was seeing my mama get shot at 9, that kind of just did something to me.
I mean, that's to be expected. I mean, what was... continue unpacking that, because that's a lot to see.
Seeing my moms get shot at 9 and then watching her go through what she went through to evolve, and then watching my mom sell drugs, and not, my mom is gay, so I've never had my father in my life. So parts of me kind of like cover that. But parts of me still wanted to know, like, damn, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then my grandmother, a woman who I really loved, she passed away. So now at my 13 years old, my mom goes to prison, and the woman she was dealing with, my mama sent a letter to 2 women, and they got mixed up. And so the woman said, since your mom won't be a hoe, get out of my house. I'm homeless now. You know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? So I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
What in the world?
Wait a minute now.
Where'd she put you out at?
She was like, you gotta go. Pack your shit, you gotta go. So, you and your mama deal with that. And like, how I'm 13. I'm like, all right, bet. So they was hustling. So I was like, all right, I got something for you. I went snatched her shit, I'm sorry. I went snatched her stuff. She had, some...
You ever flashback.
I went snatched some stuff. I was like, all right, you ain't about to leave me out here broke. I know how to hustle. I watched my mama hustle. And so
that's what got you in the game?
Dealing with that. Yeah, watching my mama hustle my whole life. You know what I'm saying? And so from there, being homeless for a minute, and I wasn't homeless in a way where, like, my people just didn't have the room for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard bringing on another mouth. So I'm thankful that my uncle tried to bring me in. And so from there, I turned into a version of, I thought violence was the key. I thought violence was the answer, because now I'm being raised by wolves. For real. You know what I'm saying? Then I moved with my aunt. She was on drugs. So and that was my dog though. You know what I'm saying? And so she taught me more of the game, how to survive, how to maneuver. And there's no one better to teach you the game than somebody that's a user in the game. So you start learning how to finesse, you start learning how to run game, you start learning how to peep game. Like, it's a whole different game. So I learned that at a young age, you know what I'm saying? So I got my first trap house when I was probably like 14. And then 16, I shoot him at 6 times. So then I go to prison at 16. I get charged as an adult. I get 10 years for attempt murder on robbery. Now it's a whole nother game I gotta learn.
That prison game's a different
You know what
game.
I'm saying? So I gotta, and they ain't taking no sympathy on you because you're 16. So now I gotta learn in real time how to be a man child. How to evolve. So now I'm evolving. I'm watching dudes get stabbed. I'm watching dudes get raped. I'm watching dudes, I'm watching all kind of stuff happen. And so I'm learning how to fight, lose a fight, and still be okay. I'm learning how, to go all in on a fight. And, so you learning that. And so you come home and you just emotionally just all over the place. But as a man, you just got to deal with it. Because society don't care. They don't care what you've been through. And if I'm being real with you, they ready to put you back in there. And so
that's the truth.
I just learned it took me the longest. I was still just callous. And one of the things that let me know I was callous was I was right when I had my daughter, my mama called me one day and she was like, Leon, your daddy's dying. And she was like, you need to meet him. He won't meet you before he die. And I said, he gotta die with that.
That's what you said.
Mom said, what? I said, man, I did 10 years in prison. I was homeless. Now I have a child that out the gate I've made sacrifices for. Man, you're not about to die and put that on my brain. Go on, let him die with that. And my mom, this hit me in my core. My mama said, your heart too black, boy. She said, your heart too black, boy. You don't got no ounce of forgiveness in you. I said, man, God forgives. That ain't my job. And my mom was upset with me, but, it was what it was. And,
So he passed away without meeting you?
Yeah, I was cool with that.
Really?
I was.
Are you still?
I am.
Okay.
But it makes me show up for mine.
A whole lot harder.
A whole lot harder.
Yeah.
A whole lot harder. And I don't know if I was right or wrong in that situation.
Well, I mean, it's real with your feelings. I mean, at the end of the day, if you were a Christian at that point, then you're accountable to that. I'm like, as a Christian man, you ain't supposed to do that. You're in the street. I can't tell you what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what it is.
Yep. So again, just the woman I was dating later on, who when you talked about, that's what made me, as I was dealing with her, she was like, yo, I deserve a safe space is what she told me.
Good.
She said, I deserve a safe space, and if we gonna date, you gotta be a safe space for me.
Good.
And if you can't be that safe space for me, I'm not doing this. And so my daughter helped me, and then dating a woman that required me to communicate with her, to tell her, she'd be like, no, don't shut down on me. Communicate with me. I don't like not being whether we stay together, you gotta communicate with me.
That's good.
I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
And so
how would you respond to that? Would you be like,
in the beginning, I was like, man, you tripping. But then I realized that, bro, you 40. Open your damn mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Stop harboring feelings.
Yeah.
Stop harboring them, bro. Like, everybody ain't out to hurt you.
Yes.
Everybody ain't out to get you. Now, mind you, I went to prison because a woman set me up.
Well, there it is.
You feel me?
There it is.
So because a woman set me up. And so I had that conversation with her, and I will say she made me feel safe. As a man,
yes,
I felt emotionally safe with her. You know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, I don't mind talking to you. And so she demanded that from me. She would not let me do anything less than communicate.
In which I also said, I believe that y'all will be great together. I said that. I said, y'all will be great. I believe that y'all should be married. That's just what I'm going to say. And that's just how I feel. I'm going to be 10 toes down on what I feel. All right?
I'm not mad at that.
I feel like y'all should be together.
I'm not mad at that.
Yes, I do. I want you to read the Instagram post that I saw about a week ago, and I said, I DM'd you immediately after that,
right.
and I said, yes, I need you on here because you have a great community of men that keep you lifted up.
Yeah.
And they challenge you.
Yes.
And that's what's so important, not only to have a woman in your life that challenges you, or a woman that was in your life that challenged you, but to have men around you that challenge you for greatness. And what was that post?
So I went to church last week, and I heard the pastor say, you can get a woman who's fine, you can get a woman who's beautiful, you can get a woman with a nice behind. All of that is okay. But when you find one that prays for you, one who prays for your protection and your peace, prays for you in your sleep when you are weak, that is the woman for you. And I say, man, that hit my spirit. And then I wrote in the caption, I'm not gonna lie, that was so profound. Not because I didn't know it, but as men, we often lead with the eyes and we miss the spirit part. That's how we always end up in some energy draining situations. Fighting unnecessary battles, dealing with women who are beautiful, but spirit is non-existent or bankrupt. But as men, we aren't much better ourselves. We aren't, when we aren't connected to God, when we are led by the flesh only, so we invite the toxicity, not realizing that takes away from our greatness and fulfillment. I got to do something that's different this season. I'll be 42 in a month. I heard the message loud and clear. My OG Eric Thomas told me a month ago, Trap, you need a wife. And CJ, which is his right-hand man, and Toby said, nigga, you too important not to have a wife. So in this new season, we're going to do these next 12 months and we're going to make room.
What do you mean? When Toby Wewake said, you're too important not to have a wife, what does that mean to you?
So the men around me see me in a way that I don't.
Come on.
And I allow them to see me that way. You know, even, my brother, him 500, they see me in a way, I allow them to see my flaws so that I can correct them. Because I don't see myself, I see myself as Trap. I always see myself as a real nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You feel me? But they see me as the businessman, the father, and they like, bruh, as a millionaire, you're too important to us, the culture, and the community to not be married.
Shout out to these kings. Shout out to Eric Thomas. Shout out to CJ. Shout out to Toby Wewake. Shout out to you having a community of men that challenge you for greatness and understand the value of what a wife brings to you.
Yeah, and all of them are married and happy. Happy. And when I say happy, like it ain't no, you can tell when it's real because we'll have conversations and the conversation is never, man, I got this little chick on the side I'm dealing with.
Yep.
Like I've been rocking with them for a while and all of them praise they women.
There it is.
Like praise them.
There it is.
Right? And it's never I'm about to duck off a wifey so we can, try. And they know I'm a single friend.
And that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
And so that can be the person. That's why I say married men need to be very intentional about what their PR campaign to single men. Because as a single man, they could be looking at you like, Trap, boy, let me tell you something. Boy, if I had all this bread and I could go anywhere in the country, man, let me tell you something, bro. If I wait to get married, bro. Yeah. But once you get married, man, it ain't all what it cracks up to be. They glamorize it and tell you how beautiful it is.
Yeah. And the thing about that is all of them, not Tobe, because him and Fat just always look like they having the time of their life. But CJ, E, and Marcus, they talk to me about the challenges they've had.
Good.
Like C tells me, bro, man, my wife got me through this, bro, but it wasn't all. E always talks about the challenges of what he had to do to be enough for Didi.
There it is.
My partner, Marcus, he always tell me, just the challenges that being a successful entrepreneur and trying to balance that work life. So they don't glamorize it. They let me know it's hard work, but then they also double back and be like, this is also the safe place. This is why I'm successful. This is why I'm this fruitful. This is why my life can go this way. It's because of her. I can sleep at night because of her. I can be successful in the world because of her. I can look at the women in the world because I ain't blind, but I can realize that it ain't worth my goddamn marriage. You know what I'm saying? And that is what gives me so much, like, all right, bro, like, I get it. Man, it's getting me emotional, bro. Let me tell you something, bro. When I tell you I love it when kings get it right. Yeah. Because we hear so much of the negative. We hear men losing marriage. I was like, where do y'all get that from? You bitter. It's like bitter dudes that got done wrong that still live with the trauma of the woman that set him up or whatever, the woman that cheated on him, the woman that took all his bread, whatever happened in the divorce or whatnot, and then they relegate every woman to that one woman that mismanaged them, and they say, these H's ain't loyal. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They make songs about it. Yeah. And it's like, I'm glad that you're getting that iron sharpening iron daily in your life. Yeah, and it's important for me because it's easy to, being the man that I am, it's easy to get lost in the idea of what a successful black man's supposed to do.
Yes.
It's easy to get lost in.
Unpack that. Supposed to do like what?
Meaning, like if I let like entertainment intoxicate me with the facade of what a successful black man is. So I'm supposed to have a bunch of women.
Bunch of them.
I'm supposed to disrespect them. I'm supposed to have a bunch of kids. I'm supposed to have a bunch of jewelry, and I'm supposed to feminize women. That's the image that we see.
Yep.
Right? I'm supposed to call them B's and hoes, B's and H's, I'm sorry, all day. I'm supposed to I'm the dominant. I can have what I want.
Yep.
Right? I'm supposed to do that. Yeah, shut up and listen to me.
And let me throw some bread at you, buy you some purses and some
fly
shoes.
you out, do something, put y'all on camera.
Yeah.
And if I let the media tell me that, especially as black men.
Yes.
I don't know, but I've never seen other race outside of Hugh Hefner.
Yeah.
I've never seen that glamorized in Caucasian America.
Never.
Right? And so definitely don't see it in like other races. So I'm like, all right, it's easy for me to get lost in that.
Yep.
Especially, and I'm not gonna lie, like I'm new money.
Yep.
I've only been a millionaire, multimillionaire a couple years.
First he said millionaire, and then he said multi. He said, let me put some respect on my name.
I didn't mean it like that.
No, that's real though. No, call it what it is.
I didn't mean it like
Give
that.
God some glory. Amen.
Oh, 100%. Everything in my life.
But you got to think about it. You came from the street.
Yeah.
You came from an unlikely set of circumstances,
Yeah.
even with your mom.
Yeah.
You never saw what even fatherhood looked like.
Not
you
at all.
never seen it. You know what I'm saying? And then because I saw a video with your mom walking on stage or whatever, and I can see that, and I go, yeah, they done been through some things.
Yeah, we done been through a lot.
Boy, but the fact that you still honor and you respect her.
100%, man. And that's still a working relationship.
Yeah.
She still has traumas that she's trying to fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We all do. Like, and that's, I think one of the things that people gravitate to me for, because I don't come off like I have a perfect life. Like, I go through it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I moved my daughter mama to Atlanta and paid all the bills. And then for 2 years. And then she was like, nope, I'm ready to go back home. That crushed me. You know what I'm saying? And I just said, all right, God, how do I handle this?
So what was calling her back to New Orleans?
It could be a lot of things. I don't think it's no ill will between me and her.
Yeah, it's just that she feels better at home.
Yeah,
is that where her family is?
All of her family.
Yeah.
So she out here, she by herself.
Yeah.
She out here, she got my daughter, she has 2 other kids. And even though I pay the bills, that don't give her peace.
Yeah.
That don't give her comfort. And so I had to look at it from another perspective. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I was devastated.
Yeah.
I cried many nights.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Many nights I cried. I was like, man, why? But I didn't go to her with it. I didn't go to her with it. I went to God. I said, God, first let me tell you this. Why would you let her do this to me?
Yeah.
You know
That's fact. That's the first question.
Why would you let her do this to me?
Yeah.
You know what that little girl means to me. The last 2 years, I've been there for her since day one, but the last 2 years we've lived. Like, I moved them 10 minutes from me.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? So soccer practice, like, I'm doing all that. So
how old is she?
My daughter 8.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, God, but check this out. You've never not did anything in my life without a reason. So even when I don't understand, guess what, God? I'm going to trust you. I'm going to trust you. You ain't never let me down. You ain't never not got me through something. I don't understand it, but it ain't for me to understand. Maybe it's something in this season of my life you want me to just lock all the way in on that you about to do me with, and you just feel like that may not be it. You feel you protected me for something, so I'm going to trust you on this.
When was this? How long ago was this?
2 weeks ago.
This is recent.
Yeah. Like, nah, we ain't renewing the lease. We going back home. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Because I done hit her with the schedule. I'm like, here's the schedule for this month. I gotta go.
I gotta go
I'm
do
about
this.
to go to the Potter's house. I gotta teach here, and then my birthday on the 4th of July, so I'm gonna go to Italy for a couple of days. I just want you to know the schedule. She was like, "Nah, we going home. We not renewing the lease." I was like, "Wait a minute, wait, hold up, what?
When was you gonna tell me
When
this?
you gonna tell me this? Oh, man, let me.
How long you been thinking about
I was like, wait, what? But And I cried, man.
I'm glad you did.
I cried.
I'm glad you're admitting that you cried.
I'm gonna tell you when I knew I was growing, when I didn't attack her.
Mm.
When
That's
I
good,
didn't,
King.
when I didn't, all the stuff I do for
Yes.
you, I done did this for. Nope. And the second part of that was when I told myself, this hurt me.
Yes.
I said, this hurt me. I didn't tell her. I told myself. I said, this hurt me.
And the next level is when you tell her. Well, you just did. You just told her just now.
Well, I had a conversation with maybe like a couple days ago, and I said, that hurt, but I won't force. It hurt, but I won't force.
What did she say?
Thank you. And then we just moved on. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a reason she wants to go home.
Yeah.
And one of the things we got to stop doing, especially as men, is trying to control the situation.
Yeah.
What we got to stop doing as men is because we want to do what's right for me. And we want to boast about what I'm doing and I did this and I want more for you than you want for yourself. That's selfish.
There it is.
That's selfish, bro. That's selfish. So as a father, I said, okay, again, I got back on my dog 500. I got back on my dog Greedy, the men around me, and I let them know I was hurt. And I asked them for guidance.
Good.
I said, bro, how do I deal with this? Because I'm hurt, bro. It's hurt me as a businessman. It's hurt me as a father. It's hurt me as someone who didn't have a father. I don't want to go back to abandonment issues. I don't want that to be triggered, bro. So I went to my community, man, and I said, bro, I'm hurt. Like, what do I do? And most of them was like, bro, pray on it. You're a good father. It's just another battle you got to fight, but you all right. Keep on moving. And one of my guys texted me this morning. He's like, man, how you doing?
Good.
Just checking on you. I saw you in church today. How you doing? You feeling all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. And I think that's important for men because we don't always, I don't think women do it intentionally, but men need a safe space to be, men need emotional safe spaces too.
Yeah, because a lot of times what men always say is the moment that they've tried that before, a woman has weaponized it against them. And they'll be like, and see, that's why you was that's why you was crying the other day. You be like,
yeah.
I've allowed you to see me in this broken moment, and now you're going to weaponize it against me. So a lot of men, once that happens to them and once you violate that space, or even if you weren't the one that violated, that mama stuff that you was talking about, I deal, my son, the son I adopted, when you was laughing at him, when he called a minute ago.
Dad.
He's like, what you doing? You smoking on something? But he's sick right now. But he's from New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
And I adopted him when he was 16. He's 20 years old, about to be 21 on July the 8th. And this is July 8th or 6th? Yeah, 8. So July the 8th, right around your birthday.
Yeah.
And that's why when I'm hearing you, I'm going, God, you so intentional. Allow me to hear that. Because his mama issues was his mom was on drugs.
Yeah.
That's what put him in foster care. His mom struggles with bipolar and schizophrenia, and his dad's in prison. Dad called me yesterday to say Happy Father's Day to me because me and him linked in. He's serving 25 years in prison for assault with a deadly weapon. But his father, from the streets of New Orleans, he's just like, say, thank you so much for taking my son. You know what I'm saying? So me and him talk a couple of times a month just to stay linked in. And but that mama wound, my son, it is so hard for him to trust any woman, anyone. I don't care if it's the CPS worker. I don't care if it's the CASA worker. I don't care if it's therapist. He'll just be like, and he's been open about it. We'll go live and he'll share stuff. I mean, one day he's about to commit suicide, and the therapist called me and said rush home because we was on this group counseling call. She called the police. And then he was like, I don't want her to be my counselor no more. I said, do you realize that's her job? He was like, I don't trust women. Women turn against you. I told her in privacy that I was going to kill myself. And then she went and told people. I was like, what do you think she's supposed to do? But anything with that wound, any semblance of it, he will go the opposite direction and be like, I don't trust women. And so I'm going to make sure he watches this episode because it's going to speak to him on a deep level.
In order for us to get in order for us to overcome the trauma, we have to feel it.
Yes.
Gotta feel it.
Yeah.
Man, I had resentment for my mama for a long time.
Up until what age?
A couple years ago.
Yeah.
Literally 30-something.
Yeah.
And one of the things I had to do was we had a conversation, and she got mad at me saying something on Instagram. She was like, "Why you always make me look like I was a bad mother?" And I said, "I never said that. But you cannot deny my story.
Yes.
Cannot deny how that made me feel." I said, "So we can have this conversation, but you can't be the victim.
There it is.
You cannot be the victim. We can have it. I've never asked you to be perfect because I'm not perfect. But your actions triggered a string of events in my life.
Yep.
And we cannot deny how that made me feel.
Facts.
But I've never, ever said you were a bad mother. And to go even further, I've also never brung that things up to you. I've always just said, yo, how do we build? And as a successful son, I do everything in my power to make sure you have a right life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's why I'm constantly just like working on myself.
That's interesting because I tell my sons that my nephew, who I adopted, sister was dealing with drug addiction or whatnot. I said, I want to empower y'all so one day y'all can take care of y'all mom.
That's a fact.
And then Armani was like, I ain't finna do that. You got me messed up. I'm not finna. I said, listen, honor your father and mother. I said, do it. I promise you, that's the greatest gift you can ever give. He said, why would I do that? The way she treats me and the way she calls me, you know, what she used to call him until he blocked her, and tell him to run away from my home, and would tell him, see, you done went over there to this family that's not yours and over there taking advantage of home, and would make him feel guilty. I said, listen, that's just, you gotta understand, that's just her conscience. That's what she can't forgive herself, so she's trying to project that on you. But I want you to honor your mama.
Yeah, man.
I told him to call him on Mother's Day. He didn't do it. But, you know, and I have to give him grace to go through his own journey of forgiveness or whatnot.
Important.
But I always tell him, like, hey, did you call her this Mother Day? I'm not going to call her. Well, I would like for you to call her. I'm not going to call her. Okay, well.
Grace is important. But grace is learned.
Yes. And modeled.
Grace is learned. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the things for me why I think God blesses me so much is because I honor my mama in spite of everything we've been through.
There it is.
And and with my daughter, like I take care, like I'm all in on that body.
How did it feel when you gave birth to a daughter?
Man, I was nervous. I was nervous because I was like, God, why would you do this?
It would have been easier for a boy, huh?
Yeah. And I remember in the beginning, my daughter mama told me, I think she was just going through pregnancy emotions though. She was like, and you're mad because we got a girl and not a boy. This is early. And you don't think I know you're mad because we got a girl and not a boy. I was like, where that came from? Yeah, I'll never forget she told me that. And she was right though, I ain't gonna lie.
Because the girl made you face yourself.
It made me be so vulnerable, man.
Yeah.
It made me be, I knew I wouldn't have had to be vulnerable with a boy.
Yeah.
Get up, boy. Like crying. Like a little girl.
That's the truth.
So
that girl softened you up.
Man, it turned me from like a grizzly bear to a gummy bear, bro. I feel myself compromising with her all the time. Come on, Stank, what you want to do? You want? Come here. Come here. Come here. Daddy, I'm on the first thing. I already told my people, all right, bro, look, I'm going to be going to New Orleans a lot, dog. Like, we'll be in New Orleans a lot more now, bro. Don't even count me in. Don't keep my schedule open.
Do you have a place you done bought down there?
Well, not yet, but I think I may have to.
Yep.
I think I may have to. And you know what? It doesn't matter, man. And I like to tell a lot of fathers that, like, man, keep fighting.
Keep fighting.
Man,
Keep fighting.
The little one deserve that.
Yep.
Keep fighting. You know, a lot of times, bro, and I'm not saying that me and my daughter mama have the perfect relationship. We go through our ups and downs, but it's never disrespectful. And no matter what, bro, like, I remember we was mad at each other for something minor. And we ain't talked for like a month, 2 months probably. It was simple. I was going to pick my baby up and go about my business, but I didn't stop paying them bills.
There it is. There it is.
I ain't stopped paying them bills. And then we got around to it. And then I remember like we was in the car and she was, I'll give her I always feel like the most anger comes from a person feeling like they not heard. Right? Especially with women.
Yep.
Right? When they feel like they ain't heard, let them be heard, bro. Fellas.
He said, let them be heard.
Man, let them be heard, bro. Don't even be right, bro. Just let them be heard. Cause we got a thing as I'm talking logic and you talking emotion. I'm giving you logic here. You emotional right now. Don't say that.
Don't say that.
Don't say that.
Just be like,
let them be heard.
Yeah, yep.
And so I remember one time I did this, bro, and it was like, bro, I'm getting good. This when I knew I was getting good. This when I knew I was growing. So we was on the phone and she was getting at it and I was like, I'm about to come over there, right? Because I don't live like 10 minutes from, I got them close. They in close proximity. So arguments don't gotta linger, you know? I was smart. I was strategic, bro. I was strategic.
I'm on my way over there.
I'm on my way over there. And so she was like, whatever. You know? So I remember I got over there and the first thing I did when she opened the door, I went and took the trash out. First thing I did. I went in the house.
Just walked straight in.
I was like, I'm outside. She was like, okay. You heard the okay with the exclamation point behind it. I saw the tone. So I said, man, we got to talk about this. I said, hold on. I went and took the trash out. Put the trash out. Can't begin. So she just looking at me. And I was like, she can't be mad, nah. I took the trash out. You feel me? And I was like, let's talk about it. Like, what can I do to make the situation different? How can we? And we talked about it, and I was like, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to help as, however I can. And we would always like hug after we had a little skirmish. I was like, man, I got you. You know what I'm saying? And so I realized that, sometimes they just won't be heard. They feel like they're not heard. And we as men we can do that sometimes, because we go with the logic.
Yeah.
You speaking emotion. Nah, I'm speaking logical. I'm trying to tell you logic. You ain't listening. But they don't want to listen. They won't feel heard, bro.
Yeah.
And so that's some of the things I'm just learning, bro. I'm evolving as a man. You know what I'm saying? And so it makes me realize when some men say, I remember this when my uncle sent me back home from Delaware. So I was out there in Delaware. I was maybe 15, 14, going on 15, something like that. And I got out there and I was out there maybe 2 days before I found out who the plug was.
He said 2 days.
I swear, I promise
you move fast, don't you?
I promise you. That night, listen, I'm gonna tell you something crazy.
God,
I went out there with $5,000. That night, by the time I got to my uncle's house and put my bags in my room, he had an outhouse, out the back part of the house he built on. I put my bags in the room. I was walking the neighborhood. I saw a dice game. I went and got in a dice game. They was like, where you from? I'm like, yeah, I'm from New Orleans. My uncle lived right here. They was like, oh. The first night I'm in a dice game, I came home 2 o'clock in the morning. My uncle like, where you was at, bro? I'm like, well, I was next door shooting dice. He was like, what? I knew. He said, well, it's a different kind of wild dog right here. It's a different kind of wild dog right here.
You wasn't scared of nothing,
2 days. I promise you, 2 days. I found out who the plug was out there. Within 2 weeks, the police had done came knocked on my uncle's door. I swear to God.
2 weeks later.
2 weeks. My uncle said,
You got to go.
My uncle said, bro, what the hell? I said, man, because my uncle's neighbor had let me use his bike, a 10-speed. And I need to get around. I need to figure out what's going on right here. And somebody stole a bike. And I found out who stole the bike.
Uh-oh.
And I remember 2 weeks, I hadn't bought a pistol. I hadn't found out who the plug was. So I beat the dude up with the pistol. But they didn't know who I was. They didn't know where I lived at. They was like, it's your boy from New Orleans. That's all he knew. That's all he knew, right? And so it was crazy. So my uncle like, bro, what the hell? Because he had to lie for me.
Yeah.
within another 10 days, the police had came back to the house, and then somebody my uncle didn't know came to the house. Was like, yo, your New Orleans here? And my auntie was there. And my uncle was, and then the same night, this when the Kings of Comedy was out. My little cousin, my uncle specifically told me, don't bring nobody in my house. I had a female in the back of the house. I had crack in the back and weed. My little cousin was about 12 years old. She went back there, she was like, She turned around, so my uncle came home. He was like, bro, you had weed in my house, coke in my house, and a goddamn woman in my house. Bruh. And my auntie was, and my uncle came to me, he said, hey, bro, look, you gotta go. But he gave me a reason. He said, when you become the most talked about conversation between me and my wife,
ooh,
it's an issue. He said, I love you, but you gotta go back home. And bruh, now I realize, well, not now, but years I've realized what that meant.
What did it mean?
I don't have peace in my house. I don't have peace in my house. My wife don't feel safe. My kid don't feel safe. I'm the protector here.
Yes.
I love you. I love you. But I gotta have peace in my house.
There it is.
Man. And I get it.
But how did you receive it then?
Oh man, you coward ass. In the moment, oh man, coward, man. Ain't gonna let the lady tell him what to do. I'm your nephew. Uncle, I love you. I was just talking about I was 14 at the time. I ain't know no better. I ain't know no better, Uncle. That's my big dog. Me and him talk all the time now. I promise you. But at the time,
I'm glad he did. That makes so much sense.
He was like, I don't have no peace. He said, when you, and this verbatim, he said, when you become the main conversation between me and my wife, something gotta give. Something gotta give.
So in a matter of 2 weeks, you caused all them problems?
About, in total, probably about
30
29 days. 29, 30 days. I ain't making 2 months, bro. I ain't making 2 months. I was gone. I was out of there.
You done pistol whipped some dude.
I promise you, pistol whipped the dude. The police done came to the house twice, and then an unknown person came to the house looking for, well, your boy from New Orleans live right here.
He come to get you.
My auntie there, my uncle like, man, you got niggas coming to my house, my wife here, nigga, you tripping.
What'd you say? Your cousin walked in there, little 12-year-old saw you in the room?
My little cousin was 12 at the time. She come and she was like, I had that thing was lit. The weed was popular. I had the crack broke down. You're breaking out the crack. I got the girl in the back. Yeah. I'm turned up.
Looking like the movie Blow.
But look, fact, NWA, boys, something. Yo, dog, let me out. Something.
You got to go.
You got my
uncle.
uncle.
So where'd you go then? Who'd you stay with?
So I went back to New Orleans. You know, I went back. I stayed with my auntie who was on drugs. And so me and her just locked in. I ain't had nowhere to go. I got the Greyhound. Mind you, this 1998. Ain't no cell phones or none of that. You know what I'm saying? So I went back to the hood. When I went back to the neighborhood, my aunt was messing with this guy. You know, he was a hustler. No, I'm lying. The hustler she was messing with moved, and she was messing with this other guy. He was a working man. He had like a little drinking problem. He was a working man, but for her, I knew what it was. This is shelter. You know, this is shelter. And so he had maybe, I think, 4 girls. He had 3 girls, 2 boys. No, 3 girls, 3 boys. One of his sons was locked up. And so I lived with them. Me and 2 of his sons used to fight all the time. And me and his daughters was real cool. And then I was like, man, I ain't about to live here, man. I ain't about to keep fighting nobody, kids. I be done killed one of these people, man.
Yep.
So my auntie's best friend, they used to smoke together. She was the landlord of the house. So New Orleans is built on duplexes everywhere. And so she allowed me to rent the house next door for crack. And that's how I got my first trap house. 15 years old.
15.
I used to just serve it. Now, she got over on me 100%. But I was just giving her crack. So I didn't feel like I was losing out. You know what I'm saying?
it took me back to when I was
Come on, man.
17 years old.
Come on.
And I was working.
Come on.
And then one of my neighbors, she would come down there all the time, and she would borrow money from me to, she would borrow money a lot, and she would pay me back when she got her bread or whatnot. And then I started finding out she was just using the money to go buy crack.
Of course.
So I started getting the crack.
Come on, huh?
And so I would.
This
I
is
would
exclusive.
Yeah, this is exclusive because it's a safe space. So. Birds of a feather. So I started. I'm telling you, I sold drugs for a good 3 weeks.
Come on.
And what made me stop was my girlfriend / mother, my daughter's mother, was like this big time drug dealer. And we would go to his house, and I found like he had a bunch of drugs in the under the cushions. And so me and her, we would get some of it, and I said, all right, I'm gonna sell this. So I started selling it, but I only had one customer. I was selling to the one lady.
That's it.
And she was just coming over. So my mom was like, why she keep coming over here all the time? I was like, she always try to borrow some money. She try to borrow some money. It's like, gosh, she sure come over time. So one day I just gave her I just gave her a handful, say, here, and then just give me, it was, some little dime bags and some nickels or whatever. So I just gave it to her, and I said, all right, on your pay period, just come back and see me. And her daughter came up to the porch one day with no shoes on. It was a Hispanic lady. She came to the door with no shoes on, and she asked for some food. And she was like, I'm hungry. And I said, oh, I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
When I say that hit me like a ton of bricks, I said,
that's it.
That little girl, she said, I'm hungry. And I said, why your mama got you out here? And I was like,
why she out here?
You the reason. You over here supplying her. You over giving this. And I just said, oh, I can't do this no more. And that hit me, and I was just like, so then she came back to try to give me the money. I said, no, you keep that. I said, buy your daughter some food.
That's a fact.
And I said, I apologize.
Yeah.
And she was just like, what? You ain't got no more. She was mad at me or whatever. And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't do it no more. I cannot do this. I'm not built for this.
Yeah.
I cannot do it. Yeah. And then, but I still had a little bit left. I forgot, and I gave it to my brother, who I ain't seen in years, but he's strung out on drugs.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I haven't seen my brother in about 22 years. And when I tell you, I saw him when I was, put it like this, I've been married, divorced, and I was married for almost 10 years, and adopted 2 kids, one being my nephew, and my brother never saw none of that. That's 20 years. Yeah. I remember I had a dream that he had gotten killed, and he called me one day, because I ain't gonna tell people that, but because I'm about to say how you can get a hold of me. But anyway, so my brother can always get a hold of me. And so he reached out to me one day and said, I'm ready to come home. And I was like, wow. And at that time, it had been like 16 years. I made like a Facebook post about it or something. And I went and picked him up. Man, he was so funky. I was driving down the street. I had the sunroof open, all the windows down, and I lived in this condo downtown. Took him there, shaved his hair, cleaned him up or whatnot, took him back to my mom's house so she can see him or whatnot. He stayed for about a week and said, man, this don't feel right. I got to go back to these streets. He felt so uncomfortable being in that world. He was selling plasma to get drugs and all that stuff. And then he was just like, I got to go back out there. Yeah. He was the type that never wanted us to see him on drugs as a family. Yeah. He wasn't going to come and steal stuff or whatever. He'll just be out in the streets and figure out whatever it is. But I haven't seen my brother in over 20-something years.
Say, bro, being in the streets is such a, it's heartless.
Yeah.
And I've seen so much. I've done so much. And you see that situation where you said, like, you saw that kid and you was like, wow.
Yeah.
Bro, like I've been in situations where I've sold drugs, and I'm not saying this is a proud moment. I'm just saying how calloused and hardened the streets make you.
Yep.
I've been in situations, bro, where I've sold a mother drugs and she smoked crack with the baby in her hand. And my only mindset was, you want some more? You feel me?
Yep.
I'm so proud of who I am now. And I think, I'm not gonna lie, that's why I do so much. I try my best to do so much good.
Yeah.
Because a part of me knows what I did.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like once you start to, as with a callus, you shave it off.
Yep.
And you keep shaving it until you get to the skin. And once you get to the skin, you can feel again.
Yep.
Right? And once I started feeling again, I realized, like, yo, I really did some crazy stuff. And so that parts of me still pull at me.
Yeah.
And so that's why I try my best to give so much and do so much for people, because it's kind of like I want to right my wrongs in the best way that I can. Right? Because, bro, like I don't, the streets have destroyed so many families.
Yes.
In so many different ways.
Yeah.
Whether it's a person killing somebody, whether it's the person who killed somebody going to jail,
Yep.
whether it's the person in the street selling drugs to somebody and you are taking food out of a family's mouth.
Yep.
There's so many different layers.
And let me add this layer, because I'm an active foster parent and adoptive parent, is that when kids get removed from the home because their parent is struggling with drugs, and then what happened with my nephew, and then the father don't want to get custody because he don't want to, he may get drug tested, so he gonna come up with a dirty UA. So he's like, no, I don't want to be in the system. And so now this child is being raised in the foster care system until someone decides to say, you know what, this child doesn't deserve to be here. Let me go ahead and help rescue this child. And so I've seen so much pain, so much hurt in my own family when it comes to drugs. And I'm like, I said, we got to eradicate this. We got to do something to where, the old saying, each one teach one. But we got to go and be like, hey, let's pull your boys out the drug game and be like, man, listen, this is a better way. Like
that's where the
this
stock market
generation
came in.
There it is.
That's what this came in for me. That's why this is so important to me.
Yes.
Because this really got me out the street. It was a combination of my daughter and this. This reminded me so much of the street. From buying, selling, supply, demand. I still get the rush.
Yeah.
Without having my life on the line. Without going to jail. Without saying I'm going to be taking away from my daughter. And this is legal money.
What was this video I saw you sitting up there? I guess that was yesterday. I saw it today, so I think it was posted yesterday because I heard you talking about good soil. But you had made $1 million.
Oh, yes, I made $1 million in a trade. I put a trade in maybe, so today is Sunday. I put it in maybe 4 weeks ago. It cost me $390,000. And as of Friday, the $390,000 had turned to 1.1 million, 1.2 million. No, 1.5 million. Because I got my $300,000 back, and right now it's at 1.1 in profit. God. Yeah. So it took about
4 weeks.
It took about 4.5 weeks for that to happen. Yeah.
And you pulled your money out and let
Not at all. I love the game, man. I love that game.
So you won't take the 300? The 300?
Yeah, so I'll take the 300. I'll take the 300 from that trade. I'll take 300 out and then let that run some more, and then I'll take some of that out and let it run some more. Yeah, I love this game. I love this, man. I think I don't have nothing against no other race. I'm not anti anybody, but I am pro-black.
Yeah,
every black person in America should be investing in the stock market 100%. It's the catalyst to your wealth building journey. If we sit here and we can wear all of these brands, if we can be consumers, we have to figure out a way to switch quadrants to become at least an investor. Everybody don't have to be an entrepreneur. I'm okay with that.
You have a course? You still have a course?
Yeah, I have a few of them, but I don't want the people on your podcast to think you trying to sell a course for me.
Well, I didn't know you had a course.
Yeah, so I got courses, I got groups. And I had one guy in my group, he went from, this one is always profound for me because he said, Trap, I worked 33 years and I saved $300,000 in my retirement. He said, in 3 months, I turned the $300,000 to $346,000, but in From January to now, I've turned the 346,000 to 1.1 million. Messing with you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that because, like, there's a lot of people out there that give a lot of game. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with that, but I want everybody to play the game. Whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you got a great career, there's nothing. This gives you control of your freedom. You print money every day. We watching these people grow their wealth by billions of dollars. And they're not doing it because they just have a business. They're doing it because they make millions of hundreds of millions from their business, and they take hundreds of millions and buy shares of their own business. That's what they do. That's what they do. When we watch Mark Zuckerberg increase his wealth by $50 billion, that ain't because Facebook generated that much money. Don't get me wrong. It did, but that's the company. His personal net worth is because 60% of his personal net worth
is reinvested in Facebook.
It's Facebook shares. God, dog. The reason why Jeff Bezos is, when we look at the top 10 richest people in the world, whether it's Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Bernard Arnault, that's the guy who owned Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy. We talk about Larry Page. We talk about the two guys that are founder and I'm not founder, but the two CEO and the owners of YouTube. When we talk about all of these people, top 10 richest people in the world, 60% of their wealth is in the stock of the company that they own.
That got to be the most brilliant thing I heard in my life.
Yeah, they don't got it. When you see Elon Musk's work, when you see Jeff Bezos' work, $200 billion, he don't got $200 billion in the bank. Yeah, he has about 140 billion in Amazon stock. So as the stock goes up, guess what's happening?
You get richer and richer.
That's what I told people. From January, and I know this ain't, we talking finances right now, but
no, that's good.
From January, so I hit $1 million in one of my accounts in June last year. I made the post. It's pinned on my page, right? Because I had made a goal. I said, I want to, because this is the account I show every week on my show. I said, I want the people to see me hit $1 million. So I hit $1 million. That was in June last year. By January this year, it was 1.5. From January to now, it's 4.2. God. This now, this ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want people to think I'm lying to you. You feel me? Because there's one thing we not gonna do as men.
Be lying to each other.
Is be lying to each other on this show.
When the show is, our monikers, we keep it lit.
Matter of fact, I lied. It's 4.3. I apologize.
Where's that? Oh, yeah.
What you see at the top?
Yep. 4.320.
January.
Let me have the 320.
100%.
The 320,000.
January. Now watch this. I put it, it's on my Instagram. I posted it right here. It's the same account. It said, we finally hit $1 million.
Touched $1 million mark.
That was June 9th.
2023. So that same thing just kept flipping like that.
You know, trading, investing, not taking no money out the market. That's one of the problems. We got financial trauma.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Well, that'd be me. I'd be like, what makes money take it?
No, I can't. So when we think about these people increasing their wealth by billions, yes, they do sell some, but it only once it gets to an exponential amount. They're like, you know what? Let me sell 50 million right quick. That'll last me for a couple months.
Gosh, that's just a different school of thought.
And the reason why that is so profound to me, because as in 100% as men, as providers, we need to know how to put our families in safe situations outside of us putting our back to work.
That part.
Because that wears us down. that job, and I don't have nothing against it, but it wears you down.
Well, not only does it wear you down, it takes you away from your kids most of the
Exactly.
time. And so you can't spend a lot of time, because I kept saying I need to figure out my life with balance to
Yep.
where I can spend more time with my kids, so I'm not always grinding and running around trying to chase the dollar.
And as men, a lot of our moves are predicated around money.
Yep.
Because we want to be the ultimate provider.
Yep.
That's a part of our DNA.
Yep.
Just like women want to be nurturers. Let me say this. The wives want to be nurturers,
Right.
right? Because you know they say like a man, what it says, a man who finds a wife.
Yeah.
That means she was a wife before you got her, bro.
Yep.
She was a wife before you got her. So that means it's already in her to nurture you and help you be better and help you be the best version of you. Whatever success you have right now with a wife, this become 8 million.
Yep. I say it all the time. Matter of fact, we didn't even discuss this, but I want you to create an affiliate. Do you ever do affiliates and
I
stuff?
can do one for you.
All right, do an affiliate link. I want y'all to sign up for this.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we weren't even talking about this. I forgot that you did courses though. I didn't even think about courses.
Of course.
Because that's a different world for me as far as
Yeah.
real estate. I'm not real estate, but stock market or whatever.
Yeah.
I just want to have you on as the man that you
Yeah,
are,
I
about how
appreciate that.
vulnerable and transparent you are,
Yeah.
and the fact that when I saw that post, and I
Yeah.
love the circle of friends you have that's
Yeah.
telling you that once you get married. So the other part of that scripture is just said that he who finds a wife finds a good thing. She's already a wife, but the Bible says, and he obtains favor from the Lord.
Ooh.
And so the thing about it is that favor factor that we say I do to makes everything that we touch prosper. And that's what we don't talk enough about, is that we go, well, men lose in marriage. We always think about it if there was a divorce. She gets X amount of money and all that nonsense. And I'm saying at the end of the day, you're discrediting the favor factor.
favor.
What you gonna get?
Favor.
When you married a right woman, them numbers you talking about, like you said, it'd be 8 million.
Exponential growth. I always say I want my favor box to be abundant. I want my favor account to be abundant, man.
Let me ask you this.
Talk to me.
Do you think you're ready to be married now?
I am working on it.
What would be the determining factor for you to say I'm ready now?
So I think that there's a few more emotional barriers I need to overcome.
Why you say that?
So this was the reason why me and the female we talked about,
right.
we stopped dating. It wasn't like she was perfect. If I've ever met a woman who helped me, even to this day, she texts me. I text her and told her I was hurt because my daughter was leaving.
Good.
I said, I'm hurt because I felt safe in that space.
Yeah.
But we stopped dating because I told her, I said, listen, I don't want this to sound egotistical. I said, but in order for me to be the best version of me, man, I need to work on myself some more. And I said, this don't have nothing to do with you. I'm going to get a therapist. And she literally was like, I am hurt, but I see where you're going. And I told her, I said, look, I would tell her, like, I went to the therapist today. So she didn't think it was just like
a little
some
scapegoat.
BS.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I'll say it. Like I remember we went somewhere, and I remember having anxiety, laying in a bed with her. I remember just being like, all my issues was just coming out, and I couldn't sleep because I'm battling between, should I be here? Man, she might try to set me up. Should I be here? Man, I don't know. Like all my issues was coming out, and it wouldn't allow me to serve her the right way. And so I said, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't got nothing against you. I really need to go to therapy right here. Because I knew that wasn't the first time I had that issue.
Yeah. It's the first time you actually said something
But it was the first, that's it.
Yeah.
It was the first time that I said something about it. Right? Normally, before I was just either I'll stay my distance, like I'll deal with a woman just enough so she don't get close to me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Just being real. I'll deal with a woman just enough so she don't get close to me. And with her, I was like, yo, I like this. And then those old feelings, me feeling like she about to hurt me, or should I really do this?
Yep.
You know, and it was a thing. So I said, yo, I'm really about to go to therapy. And I remember I started the therapy. I got the therapist from Toby.
Good.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Toby was like, so I told Toby, I said, Toby, man, I got this woman, bruh, and Bro, she phenomenal. I'm telling Toby, I said, if I found something, if I said something was wrong about her, bro, I will be just coming up with something. I said, I'll just be making up something, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, Toby. Toby was like, nigga, come on now. You know, he died here. Come on now, talk to me now. Talk to me now. So I told him what was going on, and he was like, I got the perfect person for you. And he plugged me with Pops, and one of the things Pops told me that was real dope, he said there's 3 versions of you that's living inside you, and you don't know it. But one of the things you're doing is you're trying to keep Wall Street Trapper here, and you're negating Free, and you're negating Leon. So Free was what all my dogs call me in the street, but Leon is who I am as the authentic person. So it's you're a nerd in the street dude body.
Yeah.
And so he said, what happens is you been drowned Leon out because life made you drown him out. Life made you put him to the side because you never felt like you can walk in him, because you had to be strong. You had to make up for being abandoned. You had to be in the streets. You had to be in prison. All of those, you had to be something that you in nature didn't want to be at the time. So then Leon, so you've been free this whole time, which is what my homies call me in the street. And then you evolve in business and you become the Wall Street Trapper. Now that character takes on a position.
Yes.
And so what you don't want to do now is you don't want to let Free take over, because you know he'll mess everything up, and you're so far away from Leon, but he's the vulnerable one.
There it is.
He's the vulnerable one. He's the person with the emotion. He's the person that's sad. He's the person that cries at night. He's the person that wants his mama. He's the person that's mad that his daddy's not here. He's the person that wants to be a great father. That's Leon. And what you have to learn how to do is let them all sit at the table together, because you need them. You need Wall Street Trapper because he's great at business, but Free will not allow business. You can't let Free be the CEO, but Free is the defense mechanism. He's going to let you know if somebody playing with you. He's going to let you know, hey, put your alerts up. And Leon is the most human, vulnerable part of you. And bro, when he told me that, I said, okay, we got work to do. And that was the second session.
God. Isn't it ironic that your street name, when you were bound, your name was Free?
Tattooed on my neck, Free. Yep.
Why? Why did they call you that?
So I used to always talk about, so Malcolm X is my favorite black man of all time. And I don't know why, but I always was gravitated to freedom. So my homies, black people, you know, you get one name, then they shorten the name up. So my homies used to call me Freedom, and then they went from freedom to free, you know? And then when I was in prison, it was just like free, because I had the beard growing. And so that's how I evolved. And so it just stayed there. But, you know, him just, and he's an older black man. He's been married for 30 years, and that's what him and his wife do.
So in the street, they called you Freedom, and you had an affinity towards Malcolm X, studied him, but then learned how to compartmentalize what you were doing in the street, named yourself Freedom while you were in bondage.
Yeah. 100, and bondage in every sense of the word. I was Detroit Red at its finest. 100%. 100%.
Deep, ain't it?
100%, man. 100%.
Why did you take the approach of, I need to break out of this relationship to go get my healing, versus her go through the process with you while you were, you know?
I don't know if that was the right thing to do, I'll be honest, because I truly think she would have rolled with me through it.
Yeah.
But I felt part of me was still like in a selfish way, like I need to be by myself to do this. Like I want to cope. I want to deal. I want to sit in the emotion. I want to. So I don't know if I did that right. I'll be honest, but I do know that it wasn't a bad decision.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was so grateful that the way that she took it, she was just like, you know what? I respect that. You've never played with me. You've never lied to me. You've never made me look stupid. So I'm a respect. I'm hurt, but I respect it. And man, we still talk.
My question to you, and maybe this is too premature to ask, by you having a space with this woman like you've never had before, does that put a priority on, when you go through your healing, do you feel like that's who you would choose? Or do you feel like you just, when you let go of something, you just totally let it go and then be like, all right, I'll go find it somewhere else?
No, I don't know. Because one of the things I told her, I was like, because she was also in a healing journey.
Right.
Like she had been through some stuff.
Yeah.
And I never said that, like, I don't feel like she couldn't be the person for me.
Right.
I feel like once, and I think I'm real close to, let me say this, you never stop healing.
Right.
I think you
that's
keep
my point.
evolving. But I knew there were things in the forefront that would not let me get past a certain point.
Okay.
Right? Because
Yeah.
it had kept showing up. Like the minute I got close, it was, hell, go, run, nigga. Run, nigga. You've been set up before. And I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. It was because I had became this successful legally.
By yourself?
By myself. I felt like just that residue of being set up.
Yeah.
It just didn't leave me.
Yeah.
And I didn't allow it to leave me. And I allowed it to handicap me. I allowed it to keep showing up. I allowed it to say, no, this, because I'll be honest with you. I think I don't have the bad stories about women. I'm not that guy.
Except that one major one that put you in jail.
Except for that one. But I don't have all women are, bro, I think women are amazing.
Yep.
God has blessed me, and I'm not saying this in a bad way. My encounters with women have been phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've met some great women that were like, yo, that's wifey material.
Yeah.
Right there. I've met that. So I don't have that. It was just that one situation that really, and I was so young. And I think it just sat on me. So, and now I'll say this, like, my fear is I don't want to be successful in alone. I also don't want to be successful with a bunch of women. Right? And growing up, like, I saw that my daughter, like, I see like, when me and my daughter mama, our relationship is not bad, but I know the power of coming home. I see my partners. I love that. Part of me is envious.
Yep.
I'm jealous.
Me too. I'll be doing that. I'll be like, man,
you know what I'm saying?
I want my wife.
I'm jealous. I'm not gonna lie, bro. And I hope I'm not, that ain't bad, but like I see, I'm like, dang, bro. Like, bro, I had 10,000 square foot house. They got 7 rooms in it. It just be
you
me.
by yourself.
I'm just in the house.
Working out, going crazy in your
That's
garage.
it. And listen, the house is so big. I'm not saying this in a bad way. Like, I redid the whole house, and I gotta once it's time to put furniture in it, I stopped.
Cause it's like,
I said, man, what am I doing, man? This ain't what I do, man. I sleep in the basement. 10,000 square foot house, I sleep in the basement.
why you sleep in the basement?
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
This was 10,000 square foot house to sleep.
I sleep in the basement.
You got tired of decorating?
Man, I got tired. Once I redid the whole house, I was like, man, I don't got no fashion sense. I slept on the air mattress. I slept on the air mattress, man. You think I care what this bed look like? Can I sleep in it? Can I sleep in it? Oh man, I got a comforter. I got 3 comforters. Oh man, we good. Oh man, we good.
A millionaire sleeping on air mattress.
We all right. So, I took my bed from the condo I had. I put that in the basement, man.
You got time
I'm
to
all
decorate.
right. Man, look,
what am I doing?
Man, what am I doing? This ain't what I do, man.
You said you want your wife to come do that, huh?
Bro, look, I go. It's my favorite part of the house. I go from my room down. So it's a master bedroom down there too, though. I go from the master bedroom, or whatever that big room is, whatever you would call it, to the movie theater.
Called the primary room.
Whatever
now.
it is, whatever they call it. But it's big enough. It was bigger than the room in my condo. It's humongous down there. So I go from there. It got a kitchen down there. I got a pool table. I got a it's 3,000 square feet down there. That's somebody's house for real. You feel me?
For real.
So I go from the room to the movie theater. From the movie theater back to the room to the garage to work out. That's the other 6 rooms in the house, man. One day they'll get done, bro.
So you feel you feel like there's some still milestones?
you laughing?
Because I'm laughing because men, we do some of the crazy
telling you,
stuff.
listen.
We do it all the time, and it's like it's the insanity we have
Nah,
to
it's
get
just sad.
out of. Because unless, and you said it best, you said you never get done healing.
You never get done healing,
embracing the trauma and saying this is a trauma and being able to verbalize that and say, hey, babe, the one you feel safe with, and say, listen, I feel like this. You say, cool, let's work through it. The fact that you're working through it is hopeful. But if you just sat there and said, man, this is who I am.
Yeah,
Then
no.
Then she says, oh, I can't deal with this.
So that's what made her tell me you got to communicate. Because that was one of my responses in the beginning.
That's who I am. This
That's who I am, man. I'm a street nigga. What you talking about? She like, oh no. No. You gonna use your words, partner.
This is who I am. I'm street.
Something had happened. I forgot what it was. But again, she was healing.
Yeah. And you
so
probably
the-
triggering her.
I triggered the hell out of her. Yeah, I did something. She was like, hey. She was like, hey. This. She was like, hey, this is not safe.
That's good.
She said, this is not safe for me. And I was like, man, you tripping, man. This is who I am. You know what I come through, you know what I've been through. You just got here. She was like, listen. And she was so calm. And that, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of like, I was looking for her to blow up so I could be like, yep, get out of here.
Knew it. I knew
knew it.
I knew you
Get
went
out
to
of
safe
here.
space.
I get out of here. You just like the rest. So she was like, listen, we're not gonna do that.
Good.
She was like, I'm triggered and I don't feel safe. Use your words. You talk all the time. And one of the things she would tell me all the time is, I watch you get on Instagram and tell your community, I love y'all. I got love for y'all. I want to see y'all. And I know you mean it. So I've seen you use your words with them. I've seen you use your words with your daughter. I've seen you use your words with your daughter, mama. I've seen you use your words with your mama. Use your words with me.
Ooh.
Nah, she was on me.
That was like foreplay though, wasn't it?
I was like,
she was like, oh, hello. Wifey, is that you?
I said, you one of them. You listen to Sarah Jakes. Oh, you listen to Sarah Jakes. Okay.
You one of them.
You one of them.
You gonna lay hands on me, you gonna pray for me. You gonna war room me, you gonna go in the closet and start praying.
You gonna pray for me. Okay, let me start. Let me go listen to somebody so I can combat this.
So let me go to therapy.
Yeah, that's why. So that's why I went to therapy. I think she would have rocked with me, but I think it was a journey that, again, I'm still working, I'm still learning. So I was like, I won't be on this journey by myself. But I'm not saying I made the right decision. But I asked
you this, and I'll say it on camera. I said, would you regret the fact if you saw our friend go marry somebody else, would you feel like she was the one that got away?
I feel like she's the one that got away now. But that ain't what you asked me. You told me I would be in a corner crying. And I said, hell no. That ain't what you asked me. I would be real, y'all. He asked me something different.
I said what you mean.
You could be in the corner crying. I was like, nah, I wouldn't do that. But do I feel like she's the one that got, for sure. I feel like she's the one that got away. For sure. And I don't feel like that about too many.
Yeah.
I feel like we get, some people say you get one. I think you get one or two.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because God has blessed us with so many beautiful people in this world.
Yeah,
so
I don't think this is one or whatever.
But I don't think you get a lot.
Nuh-uh.
I don't think you get a lot. Like, you can strike out. You can strike out.
You keep letting good ones pass you by.
Yeah,
And you I ain't never met nobody. God said, really? Really? I put my best foot forward.
Listen, you made one step, I made 10.
And then you saw you discrediting what I just gave you 2 months ago, a year ago. You just like I didn't do that.
Be like, I ain't do none of that. None of my favor. None of my favor.
But that's good self-awareness for you to be able to say, no, I feel like she's the one that got away.
I feel like that. I feel like she's the one that got away. 100%.
Well, she ain't going too far. She ain't go.
I don't think so either. But I'm not.
It's you.
Yeah.
It's all you.
I'm working though.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
But it's all you though.
Yeah.
It's we run into these beautiful, amazing queens that's just waiting for us to recognize who they are
That's a
and
fact.
say, will you marry me?
I feel like.
Yeah, because in the conversations I've had with her, I said, you in love with this dude? I said it. I said, you in love with this dude? She said, I do. I like him a whole lot.
Yeah.
She said, I love him. Like, we are tight. And I kept saying, I was like, what did she see in this dude?
Come on,
yeah.
bro.
So what did she see in this dude?
I'm a good dude, bro. So here's the thing, though. I will say this, though. I'm a good dude.
Well, I recognize it after having these conversations with you, but what makes you such a good dude is that you're honest.
Yeah.
And if you can provide honesty and transparency with somebody, that supersedes anything else. Because at least somebody gets to know what they're dealing with.
Yeah, 100%.
It ain't blindsiding us. You ain't playing games with her and manipulating her. No, You're like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
Like, I've come from all of this stuff.
Yeah.
This is what you're dealing with in the present. I've never felt safe with a woman. I'm feeling safe with you right now. That scares the mess out of me.
Scared the bejesus out of me.
And it's like, here it is, because I was with a woman like that in 2022. And in December, she said, I've never felt like this before. And she ended it. That's why what you're saying right now, I'm going, boy, this is some crazy stuff.
Wow.
And she said, I said, what is wrong? She said, I've never felt like this with a man. And we were going through premarital counseling together. Wow. And I said, oh, you the one? She said, you the one? I said, let's get counseling immediately.
You about to get married?
Counseling. Yes. We started, before I was going to officially propose, I was going to propose to her. Well, I might as well say it now.
Come on.
So that was in December. I was going to propose to her in March.
Wow.
March of 2023. We had scheduled to get married September the 23rd before I even proposed to her. September 23rd of 2023, of 2023, this last year.
Wow.
So I met her in September of 2022. We dated. We started locking in real heavily. We got a chance to know each other, and then we started locking in heavily in the month of November. By December, we was going to premarital counseling. I said we're gonna go through counseling before because I noticed some things, some childhood trauma arise, and I was like, hold on, this is deep.
Okay,
let's go through counseling. And we went there, and they was like, "No, girl, you talking to your husband right here. This is your husband." And they started writing down every reason of why we were so great together, and it scared the mess out of her.
Wow.
And she said the exact same thing you said. Let me go get healed. I need to go through therapy.
So there's a thing called premarital counseling?
It's what I did was there's a premarital counseling, and what I end up bringing about was premarital counseling.
Wow.
And Dr. Tony Evans told me this years ago. He was telling me, he's like, man, listen, before you even decide to go invest in a ring and go propose to somebody, it would do you a good, do your due diligence and just go through some counseling sessions before y'all even do all that.
Wow.
And so you can uncover whatever it is, and y'all can start talking about stuff. You go, okay, well, we can navigate through that space or whatever. And then, because you can't go get the refund back when you go get no ring. Ooh. And so we was going to have those conversations and then go and get the ring and then get proposed, and then go through premarital counseling. Now you're engaged and you start talking through all the intricate stuff that y'all may be dealing with, talking about finances, talking about the importance of sex and the frequency of sex in your marriage and everything, how you going to raise kids if y'all have kids together and all this. And that's what premarital counseling is. Then you get married, and I always say keep counseling apart as a foundation of your marriage. And then y'all do checkups, having a counselor present. That's how intentional I was with her.
So you think that it is important as a married couple to have counseling?
All the time. Because what happens is you'll find people, you'll hear this, we grew apart. It's like y'all was living in the same house for 10, 15 years and y'all grew apart. It's because y'all stopped communicating. Y'all apathy began to set in because you don't have to work anymore on your marriage. She starts feeling that she's not being seen. The man may be feeling like he's no longer heard. The man may feel like all you use me for is just paying bills as a provider, but I want a safe space. I'm going through all this stuff that I'm going through mentally from a job's perspective, and I have to carry the weight of my family on my shoulders, but I can't talk to you about it. So I got to go to a cigar lounge, talk to the dudes here at the cigar lounge. I got to sit at the bar, talk to total strangers, or even worse, I go to a strip club, and the man may be at the strip club talking to the exotic dancers about it, but he can't talk to his wife about it. Wow. And so that's why I say the check-ins, you have to have both parties have to have people that they can talk to, whether it's friends like you got that is going to hold you accountable, or even better well, not even better, but also to have a counselor where they can talk to both of y'all at the same time and be like, hey, this is what we're going through right now. We brought kids into our home now. We just had kids. Our marriage is different now since we got kids as a part of it. If someone goes through a job loss or somebody loses their mom, that marriage looks different now. And those check-in moments are so important to make sure that y'all are checked in and y'all are still growing together, and it's not a situation of growing apart. You got to think, if you got married to somebody and y'all are both 30, that's a different person when y'all get 35 and 40 and 45. Y'all are evolving and changing, different experiences, different career moves. You a different Wall Street trapper when you was making $10,000 and now you making last year you a different person. When you pull up, I made $1 million. And then you look up, and that's in that account, and then you look and say, I made $4 million. That's it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
It's a different world by even who you're meeting. You were a different person before you step foot in the stock exchange, where okay, I've never been here before. Now you can talk from a different vantage point.
Experiences help you evolve.
Totally different. Look at who your homie is.
Yeah.
This man has been in the stock market for 40 years. Your business your mindset shifted.
Yeah.
It's a whole different shift that you experience by connecting with him. You talk about these people that people pay good money. Eric Thomas, you know how much he charges to come and speak?
$200.
But this is your friend.
That's the OG.
But this is your friend.
Yes.
People pay him $200,000 to come speak for an hour.
Yes.
You get to call him up and be like, hey, man, this
What's
is what's
up,
going
OG?
on.
Yeah.
That's cachet.
Yeah.
That's a different level of relationship,
Come on.
different level of wisdom.
Yeah.
Because whether you're paying for that wisdom or you're getting it for free, the wisdom is still wisdom.
Yeah.
And so you're still getting that impartation. You know what I'm saying? So you're a different person, but I believe, thank you, Holy Spirit, that God allowed you to be in community with kings and giants
100%.
because he has so much destiny over your life, and he has so much healing that he had to chop away with from your childhood, that he had to bring you the best of the best so that you could become greater. Because if he didn't put you around a circle of men, mighty men of valor is what the word of the Lord calls it, mighty men of valor. If he didn't put those people around you, you'll still be that young little boy. You'll still be free. You'll still be free, trapped in bondage, and the devil laughing like, this is so funny.
I got him.
This is hilarious. He calls himself free, and he is so bound.
It's easy work.
This is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
That's good.
But he put you around people that can literally speak into your life, that can chop away at it. That post that I read that you made was kings speaking into your life. That's chopping away. The vulnerability that you just expressed about breaking down and shedding tears because your fatherhood has met a bump in the road.
Yeah.
Because now what you have put in place 10 minutes away is now have gone to a few hundred miles, or probably 1,000 miles away now because it got uprooted. And that little boy, like, hold on. Now, one thing that I said I was going to do is be a consistent father. And why is it looking different now? But had you not had those brethren that you could call on and they say, listen, bro, how you feel? Talk to me.
It's a fact.
Yes, okay. Then you would have been like, man, you got me mad. You would have responded differently.
100%.
You'd have been like, no, she ain't about to handle me like that. No, she ain't. No, hold on. I done did this. I done did that. You'll start operating in toxic masculinity and start running down what I did for you and how dare you treat me like this.
It's a fact.
But then you create a safe space for her to share.
Yeah.
And then for you to be able to say, I ain't never told a woman I've been hurt before.
Yep.
That hurt me.
That hurt me.
All right, let's move on past this.
Let's move on past
talk
it. How do we get past it? For sure, like what you're saying is so powerful because for me, I know I needed that circle of people. Because I'm not gonna say none. 90% of the men who I call friend from the old version of my life, they're nowhere near healed.
No, they can't give you no
trauma,
advice on that.
so they can't give me that. Right? Man, she tripping, man. She don't know what she got, man. Man, she like, man, you know, and now I'm in that, like, yeah, man. She tripping, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I think that me being able to come, and this is important for me too, being able to compartmentalize my friendships.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just because I'm
grew up
here,
together.
just because I'm here and we grew up together, don't mean I'm still not your friend. But how we communicate. But also, I won't let you drag me into You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I remember this. This was crazy. So one of my closest friends, he actually saved me from catching a murder charge. So when I came home from prison, again, my everything on my sleeve. I just come home from shooting somebody. Attempt murder, man. I'm about this. Nobody gonna play with me. And you in New Orleans. In New Orleans, like, nobody cares about what you did in New Orleans. Nobody cares. Like, bro, they didn't stop making guns when they made you a gun. And so, I promise, bro, New Orleans is not a real place.
I heard it's a different world,
It's a different world, bro. It's so much culture and so much love, but the layers of hurt, trauma, and generational poverty, generational lack of education.
That's what I was about to say.
Generational lack of resources, bro, it's there. And so I remember I came home and I was selling weed, allegedly. And
it's past the statute of limitations.
And I remember a guy in the neighborhood came to me and he was like, "Say, bro, man, them dudes don't like you over there." I was like, "Yeah?" Like, "Yeah, bro, they been plotting on you." I'm like, "Why are you telling me?" He's like, "Cuz, bro, I see you getting money. I see, I'm trying to get down, so I'm gonna put you on. I wanna let you know, like, nigga trying to get at you." I'm like, "Yeah." So I called my dog. Now, mind you, I just did 10 for attempt murder. My dog just did 14 for manslaughter. God. So I called him. I said, "Say, son." I said, "Man, come pull up on me." So he come over. I said, "Say, we about to run a play." I said, "Man, nigga talking about they want to take me out." So my dog like, "Look, check it. If that's what you want to do, man, I'm rocking with you all the way. But let me tell you something. Don't let nobody trick you out your spot." He said, "You don't know that dude from Adam or Eve. Why would he come tell you that some other dudes trying to set you? Don't go do somebody else's dirty work and you be backing up. And then you have both us backing up because I'm going to ride with you. Make sure if you won't do this, make sure you got." And I was like, "Damn.
That made a lot of sense.
That made a whole lot of sense, bro." Wasn't thinking like that. Remember, I come from you don't value your life.
Yep.
I've just learned how to start valuing my life. I've just learned how to start valuing who I am. I've just learned since I've had a child that I want to be a grandfather.
So you would have did that without fact checking?
Oh, 100. A lot of fact checking don't take place in the street, bro. What you talking about?
It was like, man, he be like, "How I get killed today?"
Yeah.
He's like,
"Oh yeah." A lot of men in jail. Listen, a lot of men in jail, probably 70%, no fact checks. Word of mouth. He say, she say. You hear me?
That joker got killed for nothing.
Now watch this though. Fast forward. I don't hide my success from none of my friends. They see who I am, and I always let them know I am a valuable resource for you.
Yeah.
Just because I am who I am, don't mean it changes what we've been through and how much I love you.
Facts.
Now, I will not force you to do nothing I'm doing.
Right.
But I will not give you a handout.
Yep.
If you want it, I will walk with you through it. I will make sure you good, but I'm not gonna force it to you. So my dog just got married. Mind you, I've been to more funerals than weddings in my life, right? So to be in a wedding with somebody that I know what we've been through together, so I'm in a wedding. So the night, and then the same night he had his bachelor party.
You talking about the one you was talking about that was gonna ride with you?
Yeah. Saying he had his bachelor party. This was 2 months ago. My other partner come home from doing 25 years. Right, so 90% of my people on the free side, you gotta eat done been in the street, did some fed time, some state time, shot somebody, jugged somebody, sold a little dope, snort a little heroin.
God, dog. He said 25 years.
So my dog, I met him when I was 18, he was 19. I had 10. He had 25. I was on attempt murder on robbery for a black dude. He was doing time for attempt murder on a robbery on a white dude. I had 10. He had 25. Same crime. Both of us first offenders.
God, dog. You see the value of life.
He got locked up in 2020. He just came home 2 months ago, something like that. I've been joking the whole while. So anyway, my dog has his bachelor party. So I had me and one of his closest friends, which is my guy too. We rented this condo. And so we get the condo, I get the call, like, "Man, they got too many people in here." I'm like, huh? He was like, the people saying there's too many people, so we gonna move the spot. Mind you, I'm gonna always make it in a spot where it's comfortable for me because I still know who I am. So I said, move the spot where? Now, if you're from New Orleans, you know about across the canal. You might don't know about it. So this is another part of New Orleans. It's like a whole different part of New Orleans. They live by their own rules. They got their own thing going on over there, right? So I said, bruh, I am not about to go in a house over there. We're not about to do a bachelor party in a house. I say, bro, you can't put me in that type of situation. And I said, it's not even you.
No.
We're going to be in there. We're going to be having fun.
Yeah.
Somebody going to record.
Yeah.
Oh, that's trap.
At the trap.
In the trap. This is an easy lick. Nah, no, I ain't got nothing on me, cuz. All my money in the market, bro. I don't got no money on me.
And they ain't trying to hear it. They like,
go
take it out.
Take it out. Bro, where I'm going to get the stocks from, dog? They in the market. It's a Saturday night, dog. I can't get nothing for you. I can't get nothing for you.
Transfer, cash app
You
it
feel
to
me?
me. Cash app it
So
to
I
me.
said,
Like,
I tell my dog, I say, bro, we can't. I say, I get it, but I can't be in that situation.
Yeah.
I say, so if that's what we doing, I can't come. I said, but give me a minute. Let me put something together. So I called my dog Greedy, and we called the guy that owns a strip club in New Orleans. And we like, look, I said, let me just get the whole club. Just let me get the whole club. Don't open it. Let me get the whole club. I said, I got about 30 of us gonna come in there. We're gonna get like 5 dancers for his party, and that's good to do. So I bet. He told me the price. I said, no problem. We come in there, was able to get everything we wanted, and it was an environment that was we can control.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody running through the back door or the side door or waiting for us in the front. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm saying that to say that I don't try to take my homies. I never try to make them change their life.
Right.
But what I do is say I won't allow you to put me in a situation that exposes me to a life that I'm no longer living.
Facts.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And honestly, for me, that was so much growth.
So that's wisdom.
Because the old part of me like, hell yeah, I'm trapped. Well, I could do that. I don't care. Let him pull up, run up. I know we got pistols in here. I ain't tripping. No, bro. You feel me?
And
So that was me. Like I'm still adapting to who I am.
Yeah.
I'm still adapting to how the world see me. You know, I'm still adapting.
And
to
I'm
that.
glad you did. I'm glad you wise enough to think like that, because your daughter deserves a father to walk her down the aisle one day. Your daughter deserves your father to see her father grow old and not be doing stupid. Because you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you made it. You already got enough street cred.
Yeah.
So showing up at a party in the trap house ain't no street cred. It's like
that's a stupid move.
Stupid, right? You know that's stupid, right?
Yeah, you know that's stupid, right? You know that's stupid, right? That's the stupidest thing you could have ever done. Boy, you a stupid millionaire, boy.
You could have flew all your homeboys to Dubai and kicked it. Like we're on a private jet.
Yeah,
you over here
doing?
sitting in a trap house.
In a trap. Selling dope on the corner. Liquor store across the street.
For a bachelor
party. Well, you done lost your freaking mind. God looking at me, shaking his head.
He was like, boy, you can't help fools. You gotta help children and fools, boy. For children and fools. He's like, what is wrong with him? But that's what happens with a lot of people.
Of course, especially men.
Yeah, they be like, well, I don't want to feel like, you know, because they don't want their boys talking about, you done changed.
Yeah.
Yes, I've changed. I've changed. Yes, thank you for seeing the growth.
Changed.
But we look at that as being so, I remember when I had my first iteration of success, I was touring shows across the country.
Salute to that.
Yeah, man, thank you. We did plays at the Sanger Theater in New Orleans.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll come through there, do the show. But I remember my homeboys was like, you done changed. And I said, thank you. Mm-hmm. They looked at me. I said, thank you.
Of course.
I said, I ain't finna be sitting on the street doing nothing. I have purpose in my life.
Yes.
I have a daughter. So
Yes.
when you talk about what matured you, my daughter was born my senior year in high school. She watched me walk down the aisle. She was a couple of weeks old at the time. And I was just like, I got to make better decisions.
Yeah.
And when I went and gave my life to Christ, no, I wasn't the crackhead that had the baby in her arms.
Yeah.
But I was the guy who walked down with my baby in my arms, giving my life to Christ.
Come on.
And so that's what happened. And I was like, and I was 18 years old, and I said, you know what? I don't know how to be a father. My daddy was present in my home, but absent at the same time. He had the same address, but I didn't see him much. He was out in these streets. And so I said, so teach me how to be a father. So I submitted my will to his will and said, God, guide me, teach me. And it's interesting that we having this conversation on Father's Day when we started out last year trying to have this conversation. So it's just not by happenstance. You know, it's not by happenstance. This is just the fulfillment of God and the orchestration of God. But listen, man, I've enjoyed talking to you, brother.
Likewise, brother.
Man, let me tell you something. I can't
talk
wait.
Right here.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you. You know what I'm saying? Because I think you're going to do something suddenly. It's going to be one of them situations where you're going to have one of the moments you're going to wake up and be like, hey, I'm ready to get married. And next thing you know, we're going to see a whole proposal take place.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't against it.
Because you got men around you telling you. And when you find yourself saying what you said, which is the Holy Spirit speaking through you, you're like, I'm envious of this.
Yeah, I am.
You know what I'm saying? Because the truth be told, there's a lot of married men envious of you.
100%.
They like, hold on, what did he just say?
Yeah.
Oh, you can have this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they don't even realize what they have.
Yeah.
And and you're wise enough to look and be like, I got this 10,000 square foot house.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting in 3,000 square foot of it. Empty in the mud.
Empty.
Hello.
I'm about to say that.
Hello.
Put stuff on the elevator, run upstairs, hit the button, wait for it. Don't want to get in the elevator because if it gets stuck, I'm in there by myself. You know, I got a whole elevator in the house, bro. I don't ever get on it. I'm like, I'm in here by myself. If I get stuck, I'm stuck. Can't nobody come in and get me out. I might.
We have a trap. I don't know. I was talking to him. His phone cut off. He was getting elevated, and I don't know what happened.
I'm stuck. Oh, I've been elevated for 10 days. I'm stuck. I can't get out. I don't get the elevator.
By himself. And that's what I'm saying, man. It's about that. And I'm glad that you're putting context around it so that because you haven't forgotten, I can't say forgotten, you've come to the realization of the value of marriage.
Yeah.
You know, even when we hear like, well, I've never seen a marriage before, and so, I ain't.
That's an excuse.
Yeah, it's an excuse. And you're literally saying, I know I've dealt with this. I've experienced this.
Yes.
My mom did this.
Yes.
I told my dad he ain't gonna get the pleasure of seeing me before he transitions.
Yeah.
But I still want to be greater than that. I still want to be the best father I can be. I still want to be a husband. I still want to have a safe space, not only with my wife, but create a safe space for her.
Yeah.
And I'm glad our buddy held you accountable to that. So,
yeah, man. I think I know one of the things that I think is the greatest accomplishments that I want to accomplish is when I look at Wall Street, right? And I see people like Sam Walton have 5 generations on the world's richest list. 5 generations.
Is that what that man got?
Man got his children, his children's children, and his children's grandchildren. So it's three generations plus itself would have been 4. So when I see that, I'm like, bruh,
God,
I can do that.
Yes.
Because I truly feel in my life right now that even though I'm still growing, I'm still evolving as a businessman, I'm still growing and evolving my spiritual man, I'm still growing and evolving as just me as a person. But I know in my heart, I'm like, yo, I can lead a family.
Let me ask you this. Many people don't know that. You travel to Dallas once a month, at least once a month, to go to church at the Potter's house.
Yeah.
Why?
So there's 2 men that helped me the most in my darkest moments. It was Eric Thomas and T.D. Jakes. I would listen to them. If I go on my YouTube right now, that's what they're gonna pull up. And one, I like who they are as servants of God. I like who they are as businessmen, but I love who they are as family men. And so I always miss E.T. because some kind of way, he always has his church on a Saturday. And I always have soccer practice for my daughter. So I be missing E on a Saturday. And so I be trying to go get CE, but also I feel like every time I go to the Potter's house, I get a word that gets me closer to where I'm trying to go at.
Oh, that's good.
You know what I'm saying? And every time I hear E, I evolve more as a man. And then I go back to the Potter's house and I evolve more spiritually. And then when I listen to E gives it to me better spiritually. So I get two different amazing dynamics that help me evolve as a man, as a mud man, and as a spiritual man. Or what I say as a flesh man, you know what I'm saying? Because E told me one time, he said, Trap, you have to become an elite decision maker.
Elite decision maker.
Because you are one fleshly decision away from losing it all.
God, that's good.
He said, because the spiritual decision ain't gonna lose it. He said, and he told me this. So I was blessed to be able to go on a tour with Eric Thomas. So me and him did 5 different venues together, and he took me with him. The first one, he let me open for him, and after the first one, we was going back to back, and that was so phenomenal for me because I got to speak on the stage with one of the world's greatest speakers. But it wasn't that he taught me nothing like do this, do that. I was able to watch him go through the method. And then after that, we would talk about, just have conversation. We was in New Orleans. And the last day, I got this. I said, you got to let me record this.
Yeah, please.
So he was talking to me, and I recorded him talking to me. And he said that. He was like, I'm still a man. He said, just because I got married don't mean I don't think there's beautiful women out here.
Facts.
He said, what, every woman got ugly since I married Dee Dee?
I said, I do.
Every other woman is ugly now? He said, no, Trap. He said, but we one decision away. And he said, what happens is, and I don't want to say about mess what E said up to me, but he said, like, God, once we serve God and once we submit to God, He's going to give it to us. It's going to be abundant. But He can't stop temptation. He will not stop temptation. And then we started naming like great men. And I don't want to put names out, but we started naming great men who failed.
Yep.
Because they couldn't resist
the
temptation. And then He gave me such a humanized, He said, I'm no better than those men.
Facts.
I'm no better. He said, and Trap, I'm going to tell you something. As a rich man, you are even more enticed.
Yep.
Because you have everything to lure a woman in.
Yep.
You got everything to lure.
Yep.
So you're an attractive dude. You got that thing with you.
You got the best of both worlds. You got that street side, so women love that thug.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then you're a refined and reformed thug. Say like, oh, I get the best of both worlds. That's why I said y'all, you so perfect for our little friends because y'all.
And so he told me that. He said, I'm no better than those men. He said, so you got to become an elite decision maker.
Elite decision maker.
He said, because you are one fleshly decision away from losing it all. And that just was like a pow. And so when I go listen to, TD Jakes, and I've been blessed to be able to build that relationship.
Yeah.
And I went out of just me trying to evolve as a man to talking to him. And so building that relationship, I've got to see him. And he told me one day, I was with him for his birthday. He said, you get to see me outside of my spacesuit. He said, you get to see me outside of my spacesuit. And he said, as a man, you have to find a group of people who can see you outside of your spacesuit and not judge you, and you be comfortable.
Yes.
He said, you got a spacesuit on. The world sees you as Wall Street Trapper. And every time you step in a room, you may not know it, but subconsciously, you put the suit on.
Yep.
Even when you think you put the suit on.
Yep.
Because you know there is a perception of who Wall Street Trapper is.
Facts.
He says, so you have to now find a way to hang that spacesuit up and find a group of people who you are comfortable with and who you're not scared is going to hurt you. And so it's like God just keep putting me in situations where I get to see great men be normal.
I've never even thought about Eric Thomas and his wife being on the podcast.
Right.
I don't know if I'd never even thought about that. And I don't know if it's because I feel like it's unattainable, But I'm gonna believe God for that. I'm gonna need him and his wife on this podcast. Because
I don't know if you're gonna get Didi.
I want her.
I don't know if you.
I need her. I need both of them on her.
Didi don't like the.
I know it. I need him.
But E, I'm telling you, like, is a powerful man.
God, dog.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I thought, listen, man, this is the craziest thing I ever. E is so powerful, like. And I don't want to say this the wrong way, like I'm putting a man on a pedestal. But if I ever seen a man truly lean on God's word and don't budge, it's him. He will not budge unless God told me to do it. He will not, I'm talking about no money, no, God ain't telling me to do it. I ain't doing it.
I love it.
And when it's a difference from hearing it and then being with him and seeing him. Like really seeing him like, nope, God ain't telling me to do it. I'm all right. Like, E, we right here though. E, we right here. Come on. Nope, God ain't telling me to do that. I'll be like, yo, you serious? I got too much flesh in me. I'm right here, dog. We ain't come this far by faith.
This moment was a manifestation of my faith.
Like E is one of them people where I've watched E turn down stuff that even the wealthiest men would be like, I'm jumping on that. E'd be like, nah, God ain't tell me to do that. I'm all right. I'm straight. And I had to learn. But so when he told me the thing about you're one fleshly decision away.
Oh, you see,
he's so tapped in.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's being able to be around these men and say, they are exactly who I thought they were.
Good. Oh, we don't hear that too often.
Yeah, that's the most, bro, because I'm not flying, just, bro, I could watch you on TV. I could watch you on YouTube, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could watch you on YouTube and get the same message, my dog. Corinthians what? Okay. All right.
Pull up my
Matter
phone.
Of fact, at home, I can pause it.
I can pause it. Go grab something to eat, come back.
Yeah, bro. So I do that. I do that because we all need a spiritual refuel.
Yes.
And so I just told him today, I said, man, I'm going to increase it to twice a month. I just told him because I know where I'm going. I know it, bro. Like, I know where I'm headed. I see it. And it is not one thing that I have not prayed for that God has not blessed me with. And that tells me that my prayers are in alignment to the vision that God has in my life. And so for me, it's how do I consistently stay in alignment? Because my best play is not in God's playbook.
Your best play is not in God's playbook?
Because that's my best play. It ain't God's best play.
On that note right there, we're going to wrap this up. You over here preaching. God.
Yeah, man.
Boy, that's some good stuff. Man, Leon.
I appreciate you, man.
We start off talking to Wall Street trappers.
Come on, brother.
Leon, thank you for coming on the podcast. Yeah, Leon, thank you for coming on the podcast. Thank you for dropping gems. Hey, unexpected. I'm gonna need him to go create an affiliate link.
Got you.
So we're gonna drop a link in the description. Make sure y'all sign up for it.
I got you.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna take the money, the affiliate money that will be generated to go towards Kingdom Royale. Y'all know I'm raising fundraising for this foster home that I'm building for foster boys. And so, yeah, man, thank y'all so much for rocking with me. This interview was a whole lot longer than I expected, but it was so rich. It was so wealthy. And I love getting the chance to just break bread with brothers that's going to keep it real. And I love it. You did a lot. You did a lot
Thank
in
you
this
for having me,
episode
man.
that brought a lot of value to so many different segments or whatnot.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for being the man that you are, man. Thank you for being the man that you are. Hey, y'all give it up for my homie, Leon. That's what he is.
That is. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man.
Stay tuned to the end for a letter to my future wifey.
Been writing these love letters to you.
Ladarian, thrusted suddenly into Child Protective Services in 2015. My nephew, Black, a boy. The likelihood of being adopted outside of kinship, slim to none. Armani, 16 years old, black, a boy, with 5 years in the foster care system before I even knew his name. The likelihood of ever being adopted? Yep, you guessed it, slim to none. While Ladarian and Armani were trying to survive and barely thrive in an overpopulated and underfunded foster care system, I was living my own life, doing well professionally. Having been a single father with a daughter who at that point was doing well in college, it was my time to live my life, right? Wrong. I felt unsettled, tireless, agitated. There are just too many of our black children stuck in ambiguity and in the limbo of the foster care system. In 2017, I legally adopted my nephew, Ladarian. Fast forward to 2019, I had no ties to this other young king, but I felt God instructed me to adopt him also, and I obeyed. Starting over with parenting should have been enough, right? Working with various foster care and adoption agencies to help bring awareness to the countless young black kings in the foster care system should have decreased my agitation, right? Joining the board of directors of Advantage Adoption, an organization that helps find permanent adoptive homes for children in foster care, should have led to some type of resolve, right? No, not at all. None of it felt like I had done enough. I now realize that every one of those experiences was laying the fundamental foundation for my life's mission, Kingdom Royale. Kingdom Royale will be a luxury, state-of-the-art home for foster boys. Our first location will be in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. We will utilize the whole person approach that instills identity, empowers them to advocate for themselves, and enlightens them regarding new perspectives and limitless options that they thought were impossible. Though the young kings will attend the local public schools that are in proximity to Kingdom Royale, our at-home curriculum will broaden their worldview through participating in the arts, attending various cultural events, learning about and engaging in multifaceted discussions about current events and even relevant historical context, introducing them to gardening and landscaping and even caring for our animals on our farm and on-site stables. We just launched our Startup Capital campaign with the goal of raising $2.8 million. Now, why $2.8 million? Well, in 2017, I created a web series in which I performed random acts of kindness for targeting the homeless community. One of the most notable successes was that one of the videos went viral, garnering 28 million views. However, one of my biggest regrets is that I didn't raise a single dollar to help in implementing a more sustainable plan for the homeless community. So throughout the years, with much remorse, I reflected on not maximizing that moment. I knew if at that time, just 10% of the viewers donated $1, we would have raised at least $2.8 million that could have really established long-term support for the homeless community, or at least started a long-term initiative to do so. This is my do-over. This is our new beginning. Together, we can attack this at the root by specifically helping our homeless black boys who are already disproportionately represented in the American foster care system. I'm Laterras R. Whitfield. I've been nominated for 3 regional Emmys documenting my work with the homeless as well as my personal adoption journey. Despite those accolades, the greatest award for me is truly providing the infrastructure for a transformed life. Visit kingdomroyale.com for more details. Crown a king and make a donation today. Man, when I tell you, I really enjoyed chopping it up with Wall Street Trapper. Matter of fact, Leon, such an amazing time talking to him. Yeah, this episode was really rich and very rewarding. I know a lot of men are going to take a lot of gems away from it and know that we can have a safe space with the women we love, and we can cultivate a safe space with them as well. Well, here's my favorite part of the podcast where I speak to my future wifey. Dear future wifey, just like the stock market, our relationship will have its highs and lows. There will be moments of pure joy, like a stock reaching its peak, and inevitable challenges like market dips. Yet it's not about these short-term fluctuations, but the long-term growth. Our love will thrive on patience, perseverance, and faith. Diversification in investing means having a variety of experiences, and I hope we'll share many adventures. laugh together, and support each other through thick and thin. These moments will strengthen our bond, making it resilient and rich. In the market, dividends are the rewards from investments. For us, they'll be the everyday joys and acts of kindness that remind us why we chose each other. Just as wise investors make informed decisions, I hope we'll communicate openly and support each other's dreams. Together, we'll build a future that's strong and full of love, knowing our commitment will yield beautiful returns. I look forward to finding you and starting this incredible journey together. Your future hubby. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Dear Future Wifey podcast. Remember, be lit, live intentionally and transparently, and don't stop loving. Make sure to subscribe to our Dear Future Wifey YouTube channel. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher. We welcome your support. Simply share our podcast with your friends and family.